Good morning, everybody. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me good. How is everybody? Gavin, good to see you. From Australia, I always smile when I see Gavin's name. Mark, good morning. Rick, good morning. Hope y'all are doing well this morning. There's my beautiful friend Rhonda. I'll tell y'all more about my experience with Miss Rhonda yesterday. My mate from down under. Cheers, guys. It is hanging well, Gavin. Thank you. Tom, good morning. Good to have you this morning. Well, it is 43 degrees here today, March 24th. Jim, good morning. March 24th, 2019, 43 degrees, and we're going to have a high today of 77. So it's going to be nice today. Birds are already out there singing. The sun is not quite up yet, but I see a little hint of blue sky. I've got y'all's back is to the window now. But it's starting to get a little bit light out there. Gregor Reeves, good morning. Matt, good morning. I'm hurting too, brother. I am hurting. Old lower back. So I've got 7:02, so we're going to go ahead and get started. A couple things first. This weekend, I had a small milestone. Not anything big, but then again, it is kind of big. I went over 3,500 subscribers, and now already I'm at 3,510. So I've gained 10 more this weekend, but 3,500 subscribers. Now I realize there's a lot of channels out there that are 35,000 subscribers, 300,000 subscribers. But when I think about 3,500 people, 3,500 people, that's a lot of people. Just in general, there are small towns around my area that don't have 3,000 people. So that's pretty cool. So I want everybody to know that subscribes to my channel, that I appreciate every single one of you. I try to answer everybody's comments. And everybody, your comments and just subscribing and tuning in and giving me a thumbs up and all that stuff. By the way, if y'all are listening, give me a thumbs up on the live streams. But I just want to say thank you, because you guys are why I keep coming back and doing these live streams and videos. So just want to say thanks. That's pretty cool. So 3,510 this weekend. Also yesterday, I want to say first, Stephen Manis, if he tunes in, which he may not, but if he watches it later today, Stephen Manis, I saw your message yesterday. I saw where you called and you sent me a message, and I apologize for not getting back with you. Miss Rhonda and Mac actually came over to the house yesterday, and I had told Rhonda and Mac a while back, a couple of weeks ago, that I would help them build a coffee table and 2 side tables for their new patio. And so we commenced to doing that yesterday, and it really took all afternoon, and partly because Miss Rhonda had a great idea. And by great, I don't know how great it was, but y'all aren't going to be able to see it. But, a regular table, square would have been ideal to build as far as complexity, Round would have been a little more difficult. But Miss Rhonda wanted 2 triangular shaped side tables. Now, I understand why, because she had a chair that was angled in the corner. So if you picture the corner of the room and she's got a chair angled, well, to either side, that would have created a triangle shape, for a table to go in. But coming up with the idea for a triangular wooden table, homemade, and building the triangular table, homemade, are 2 different things. Dave, good morning. But we did it. First, we tackled the, good morning, John. How are you and Miss Kelly this morning? But we got it done, didn't we, Mike? We tackled the coffee table first and got that out of the way, and that one turned out good. Mike, good morning. But then we opened up the cooler because it was going to take some cool pops to figure out those triangular tables. And it's not just making the triangle for the frame, because you got to cut the angles and all that, but how to mount the legs to a triangle. But we got it done. They turned out really good. And we just used some untreated spruce, but they had some nice looking grain to them, some light and dark colors, and they turned out really good. So I was happy with them. Now, this morning, it was a little rough getting out of bed this morning. Lower back sore, and standing up on that concrete under the carport all day was wears on the old lower back and knees and feet. But turned out good. And then last night we cooked some steaks and had some supper, and it turned out really good. But that was our day yesterday. So Stephen Manis, I apologize for not being able to get back with you as far as your brisket cook goes. I hope that brisket turned out good. I'm sure it did. But sometimes we have things other than barbecue going on around here, and yesterday was one of those days. Today might be one of those days too. Gavin, I know it. I'm having to fight the old father time. John's at work. Mrs. at home asleep. I feel you, John. Mine is too. Although we don't have a little one anymore. Thank you, Miss Rhonda. Enjoyed having y'all yesterday. Rick, I need a bigger gazebo in my yard. I'll be right over there, Rick. As long as it's not triangular, I don't mind doing it. That was my first and last attempt at triangular tables. I did not film it. No, there was too much profanity going on. And that it would just been a video of beeps. So that was our day yesterday. Oh, and after the second attempt of trying to fix my dryer, after replacing the heating element and then replacing the thermostat on the heating element, and it's still not working. Those got junked yesterday, and a delivery truck pulled up to the house yesterday, and 2 young men that I actually coached high school football with were now working at the furniture store, and they brought me, or actually Miss Smith, Miss Piddlin, as she has changed her name to on Instagram. So y'all go check out Miss Piddlin on Instagram. they dropped off a brand new set of washer and dryer yesterday. So we also had that going on yesterday. But they did a great job installing it. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. And I think Miss Piddlin is pretty impressed with the new washer and dryer. Front loader washer and dryer. But man, super quiet. That other set we had, it was just a cheap Whirlpool Estate brand. And when that washer would kick on, man, the whole house, I mean, it sounded like something had fallen off the wall or something. But I'm impressed with it so far. So we'll see how it goes now. I'm going to go look and see what kind of wood I've got left over and see if I can go ahead and build them today. But I just couldn't see spending $250 on those podiums for those front loader things. So I'm just going to build my own. So that'll be a project for this week or next weekend, something like that. Yeah, you're right, Gavin. That's why Mike's not on YouTube. Actually, one of them did, and he'd been graduated probably 10 years. And it was good to see him. You know, it's good to see, I tell you, it's good to see former players that have, you know, done something, made something of themselves. You know, it doesn't have to be spectacular. And he was doing that as just a second job, you know, on the weekends delivering. But it's good to see those guys that have actually grown up and done something productive with themselves, because nowadays there's too many that I see in town, you know, that have done nothing with their lives, not really holding a steady job. One kid not too long ago, I saw him at the store, and, you know, he was asking me for money. And that kind of thing's hard to see. So it was good to see those young men yesterday carrying themselves well and doing good. So that was pretty cool too. An added bonus to the delivery of the washer and dryer yesterday. So that was my day yesterday. So let me know what y'all did yesterday. If y'all cooked something, let me know. John, did y'all try the chicken fajita soup? I hope y'all saw that I posted the recipe after that live stream. Max says no more triangles. And Max getting on a plane headed to San Antonio for a week, business meeting out there. So Mac, hope you have safe travels, brother. You know, Rick, and I'll talk about some coaching here in a minute too, but it'll be a different topic. But that's what I enjoyed most about coaching was some of those young men. You know, one of the young men was a kid that I think he lived with his grandma and not a very good home life, you know, and didn't talk much. And me and him didn't talk much, to be honest with you. I coached him because he was a running back, and I coached running backs and quarterbacks, and I coached him hard. Sometimes he didn't like it, you know. But when he graduated, I'll never forget him coming up to me and giving me a wallet picture in his uniform. And I've got it above, you know, in my visor, above my steering wheel in my truck. And again, that was probably, I don't know, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there, 10 years ago. And I saw him in town not too long ago. And he come up, gave me the biggest hug, you know. But until that day, I didn't have any idea that I'd made an impact on him, you know. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty good. So that's the enjoyment that you get out of coaching it. You know, obviously you don't do it for the money, and at least in high school sports anyway. But just interacting with kids like that is pretty cool. And they do expect that, John. They really do. Julius, good morning. Yeah, I was good. I was glad to see them, earning an honest living, I guess is what you could say. That's the biggest thing. Earning an honest living. Yeah, John, give it a try. It turned out really good. Yeah, Jim sent me the original. It's, I think, blue writing on it and the red sauce. The blue is, I'm telling you, I could eat it with a spoon, the whole jar. But the red sauce, I'm dying to try some wings with it. So probably my next video is probably going to be a wing video with that sauce because I'm wanting to try that. So for selfish reasons, that's probably going to be the next video I do. And Jim, the Mac and Rhonda actually got, I think they got 4 or 5 different sauces from them and a rub from them they ordered. So we're going to get some today. Got a pork butt we need to cook, and that sauce will get put to use. Well, funny you say that, John. I'm doing pulled pork today, but here's one thing I wanted to talk about this morning. The pulled pork that I'm doing today has already been cooked. So it was a pork butt I did a while back, and we had a lot left over. So I just put it in a freezer bag, Ziploc bag, got all the air out of it, and put it in the freezer. And so I took it out last night. So today, what I'll do is I'll put it in a pan, put a light coat of sauce on it, stir it up real good, put it in my smoker or the oven, either one, about 300 degrees, 325, somewhere around there, and just let it come up to temp, stirring it every now and then. If you don't stir it, it's going to get dry on top. So just keep stirred every 10 or 15 minutes until it gets hot, and then you're ready to go. You got pulled pork for the day. So you can do pulled pork and then freeze it and then eat it at a later date. I've done it several times before, and it really turns out good. So don't knock it till you try it. That's a good way of, if you're going to do one pork butt, go ahead and do 2. Eat one this weekend and freeze one. You can separate into several different bags. So you've got several different days worth of pulled pork. So that's what we're going to do today. I think there's several different, might be some basketball game on today or something. I know the NASCAR game's coming on a little bit later. We're going to watch that and just kind of chill out today and enjoy our Sunday. So that's what we're going to do. So give that a try. Gavin cooked up some beef kangaroo balls filled with mushrooms, red pepper, onion, and mozzarella cheese, topped off with a mix of old vintage barbecue sauce and mixed with honey and golden syrup. All right, Gavin, tell me about the kangaroo balls. Gavin's got me curious now. And I've never had kangaroo. Very lean. I don't know. I've never seen it, Gavin. But if it's very lean, I would expect it to be kind of like deer meat. Mike, that's a good question. A video on a turkey on a pellet smoker. I don't know that I've done a video of a turkey on a pellet smoker, to be honest with you, Mike. I don't think I have. Tango Joe, good morning. Yeah, to be honest with you, once it gets heated through and you put some sauce on it, I can't tell a whole lot of difference. But the key is, at least what I do, is after I pull it, then I'll mix a little bit of sauce and cut it in half with a little bit of water. And my mom called it a thin sauce. So I'll make a thin sauce and pour over the meat, mix that up really well, and then put it in the bags and freeze it. And I think that keeps it a little moist. But I enjoy it. Mark Goin did ribs yesterday, sauced up with Sour's Original. Mark, when my mama had that barbecue restaurant, she made her own barbecue sauce, obviously, but her thing was it always had to contain, and I always called it Sour's. It always had to contain Sour's mustard. That's the only mustard she would use. Tom says we did that a lot. Food saver bags, then boil them on the stove till warm. That's a good idea too. That's a good idea too. Mark, I was wondering the same thing about the kangaroo balls. Cabela's had the Blue Hog sauce at good prices, better than Amazon, and had free shipping since my order was over a certain amount. Awesome, Dave. I love that sauce. Tango, how's the weather? I imagine pretty chilly this morning. Rick said he cooked chicken thighs on the Traeger yesterday, first cooked with my new drip tray that I had Teflon coated for easy, no stick cleanup. How'd you get it Teflon coated, Rick? That's pretty awesome. You know, you would think everybody would do that. Just go ahead and do it. And by everybody, I mean the grill companies. Why not Teflon coat that? Kangaroo very lean, similar to venison. Mixed with beef, it's all good, 75-25. That's interesting, Gavin. So you're thinking about smoking a turkey. Shouldn't be no big deal, Mike. Brine it or dry rub it. Maybe put a little butter under the skin. Maybe a little compound butter under the skin. Season it up however you like. When that top starts to get the color that you want it, tint it with some foil so it doesn't keep getting, too dark and doesn't dry out the breast. Tango says we seal it in bags with some sauce and apple juice. With quality bags, you can put the bag in boiling water to reheat. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never even thought about doing it in the reheating it in the boiling water like that. Now Gavin wants to know what a mountain oyster is. This is fixing to get interesting. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Yeah, he is in for a culinary surprise. Did recently griddle some camel burgers. So all right, Tango, were they gamey? I mean, what'd they taste like? For some reason, I get that it's just occurring to me that might taste like goat or something. Stephen Manis, good morning. Stephen, I already said something on here about not being able to get back with you yesterday. I was helping Mac and Rhonda yesterday. They were over at the house. We were building them a coffee table and some side tables for the patio. Mike, I think it'll turn out great. Let me know if you do that and let me know how it turns out. One hump or two. Had it shipped to a company in New Jersey. They Teflon coat. That's interesting. 16 ounce at a time. Quick and easy midweek meal. One hump. Tom headed out to ride. Hope y'all have a good week. Cheers, Tom. By the way, cast iron coffee this morning from Iron Bean Coffee Company. Y'all check out Iron Bean if you can. Great folks. Morning, Elvin. Enjoying some fresh ground Cuban coffee. Excellent. Just ground this last night. We made a pot last night, so we went ahead and ground it for last night and this morning. How do you explain mountain oysters on Wholesome Family Show? I don't know if I would call this a Wholesome Family Show, Mike, but I appreciate that. It's not too lean and real good. Did not taste like other meats. How'd you cook it, Tango? Looking for ostrich next. And I saw and I don't remember the name of it, but it was a Facebook page for a butcher company that sold ostrich, but I don't remember the name of it. You find mountain oysters under the tail of a bull. Cooked right can be good. Mark, I just don't think I'm going to ever go that route. Yeah, Dave narrowed it down a little bit more, Gavin. It's a bull male reproductive organ. Ground camel. Just made some patties and Blackstone, on the Blackstone griddle. Interesting. That will be my next Weber cook. Emu. Man, y'all are getting into some weird stuff this morning. Saw a place on that somewhere where they're selling ostrich eggs, $50 each. Jeez. Tango, I want to say that it was I had searched for butcher shop because that's where Stephen Manis got that brisket that he was sending me. So I did a search for the butcher shop, and there was like 4 or 5 different meat companies that were named the butcher shop. The one Stephen gets meat from is in Pensacola, Florida, but this other one, I don't remember where it was, but they had a website, and it was a list of all types of exotic meats. So Tango, do a search for the butcher shop, but shop was SHOPPE, and see what you can find. Brisket looks really good. Stephen, I'm glad it turned out, man. Like I say, I didn't see your stuff until late. Me and Mac had saws going and sanders going and the radio going and everything else, getting them tables built yesterday. Yeah, Dave, we're in the wrong business. Tammy, good morning. Have I done beef tongue? No, but I see it. That place, Mike's Meats, where I get my pork butts all the time and my chicken wings. He has beef tongue in there all the time. Man, I don't know about the tongue. Have any of y'all had beef tongue? I don't know about the beef tongue. Looks like it's getting a little daylight out there now. Looks good. It's going to be a beautiful day today. Yeah, I hadn't done beef tongue. Just looked up the site I was thinking about. The ostrich egg is $58. Currently out of stock. How would you ship an ostrich egg? Mark says, tried it once and not again. So it's the equivalent of 18 eggs, one ostrich egg. Rick, can you eat chicken lips? One ostrich egg equals how many dozen chicken eggs? 18 eggs. You need a chisel to crack it, so shipping would not be a problem. Wow. That's good stuff. Now, Tango, didn't you do, was it you that cooked with duck eggs? They do raise, I didn't know about the emus, but the ostriches in Darien, Georgia. You're right. Didn't you do some eggs in that, in Russ's hamburger contest? I know you used duck fat, but didn't you use an egg in that? Those look really good too. Tango, that was a great burger, by the way. You know what, Tango? The other day I was thinking about actually reproducing a video of that burger just because, you know, what was it, like a minute and a half? The video had to be a minute and 30 seconds. And there was so much that went on in making that burger that you couldn't really share everything in a minute and a half, you know? So I've been thinking about reproducing that video with that, doing that burger and just doing a complete video of it, just because it was a really good burger, and yours looked really good too. And bison ribeye and a duck breast ground together, topped with a duck egg. Yeah, I bet there was tons of flavors in that thing. Do duck eggs taste any different than chicken eggs? That's a good question, Rick. If you like chicken eggs, duck eggs have a deeper egg flavor. The yolk, I tell you, that yolk looked more orange than a pale yellow like regular store-bought eggs did. Eating the piss out of them. What are missies? Mosquitoes. I love it. Time for some more spray. Mosquitoes. So Gavin, y'all call them missies. We call them skeeters here in Georgia. Yeah. I grew up on goose eggs. I've never had a goose egg. I've had a goose egg in baseball. Mozzies. There's a duck farm near here which supplies the nation with Long Island duck. So we can get duck eggs all the time. That's awesome, man. Joe, what you got in store for today? One of the things I wanted to cover real quick, I had a couple of comments I wanted to just address real quick. One guy said that he's got a pit boss, but he's been having I have a pit boss, and I've noticed I've had flame ups issues. At first, I thought he was talking about flame outs, but he said flame ups. I clean the grill almost every time I smoke, and last weekend I had a flame up after cooking a brisket for about 10 hours. I cleaned it this afternoon and had about what I could guess was about a pound of grease. I'm assuming in the bottom of the barrel. I asked him, but he hadn't replied yet. It sounds to me like somehow wherever you're greasing, I don't know exactly how a pit boss is built, so I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing it's just like any other grill. However, that pit boss drains the grease. Something's blocking the grease from being able to drain properly. And instead of going into the grease drain and down into your can or whatever it drains into, it's going into the bottom of your grill. And that's really dangerous. So either if you're foiling the drip pan, the foil has got the hole blocked somehow, or the pan, if it slides into some kind of little tray or something, maybe it's not in the tray properly. I'm not sure, but I would take that thing all the way apart, and I would look at it and make sure that, number one, I'm not blocking where I'm not blocking the grease drain, and make sure that grease tray is seated properly wherever it's supposed to be seated. But something is blocking that grease from draining where it's supposed to and causing that grease to go into the bottom of your grill. And that's really a dangerous situation. So let me know if you figure that out. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Gavin. It's a pellet smoker, Joe. Yeah, we've turned into the wild kingdom this morning. You never know where this show is going to go. I'm telling you. Yeah, Tango Joe, he could do a Wild Kingdom version of scrambled eggs on the Blackstone. Yeah, he cooked a brisket, Mike, for about 10 hours, and I guess evidently all the grease didn't go in the can or where it was supposed to go. It went all in the bottom of his grill. And that might be the case, if it's not level, yeah, if it's not slanting towards where it's supposed to drain. That's a good call there, Jim. Possum, no sir, Gavin. You can't pretend that possum's beef. I I can't do it. A possum is one of the nastiest animals. Last year I had a possum. I walked outside, it was dark, and I didn't turn the light on outside and heard something splash in our pool, and then I cut the light on, and it was a dadgum possum that I'd left the back gate cracked, and he had got in the backyard and jumped in the pool. Nasty. Theme of my contest burger was local cheese. That's right. That was a good burger. Now you got me wanting burgers. Now I'm starting to get a little hungry. Nutria. That's that big looking rat, ain't it? I mean, big looking. Our possum is not like yours. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Gavin's teaching me all kind of stuff. Yeah, me too. I want a breakfast burger. A burger with an egg right on top. Yes, I think it's down there like around the Everglades in Florida. Our possum looks cute. All right, you got me curious. Let's look this bad boy up. I'm just going to type Australian possum. It even says cute. Wow. Yeah, that does not look like our possum at all. I wish y'all could see this. I need to find a way. I mean, there is a way. I just don't know how to show y'all my screen. That is pretty neat. And no, it's not like our possum at all. It's like if y'all are by a computer, look that up, Australian possum. It still looks like a rat, but it looks like a clean rat instead of that shaggy haired thing that we've got. Our possums look like they got the mange. Gavin, we need you to start a channel too. Just Piddlin down. Mike, that is a great idea. Just Piddlin down under. That would be awesome. Ringtail possum. That's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I saw something funny this morning on the Grilla Grills site that was very true. The guy said, for some reason, I get the feeling that if the Grilla Grills Silverbac came standard on a Pro cart, all of you would want to change it to the cabinet. And I thought that was dead on the money. People go crazy on wanting to change stuff on their grills. Gavin says, I have the coffee cup. That's right. Oh, and guys, I'm going to tell you, sometimes people crack me up with comments on my channel. First of all, and I think I might have said this the last live stream. I can't remember what I say and what I don't anymore. A chinchilla. It does look like a chinchilla. I've never eaten one of those either. But it's amazing what people that watch my videos notice. Like one guy told me the other day that I needed to put some chlorine in my pool. One guy, like a couple years ago, maybe, it was when I had the fake grass on my back porch, and he made a comment, "Wow, how do you get your grass so green?" Anyway, so I did the video on the barbecue cart using the Silverbac cabinet that I had left, because I put the Silverbac on my competition cart, right? And I even did a video review of the competition cart with my Silverbac on the competition cart just a couple weeks ago, really. I have gotten so many questions since I did the DIY barbecue cart. Hey man, what'd you do with your Silverbac? Man, that barbecue cart's cool, but where's the Silverbac? Did you get rid of your Silverbac? No, I didn't get rid of my Silverbac. It's on the Pro cart that I did a video on the other week. Go back and watch that video. I didn't get rid of the Silverbac. And if I did, do y'all think that, hey man, you want this Silverbac? I don't want this Silverbac, but can I keep the cabinet? It's weird. It's weird what people notice in videos. And not making fun of anybody, because I enjoy everybody's comments, but some of the comments are just funny. Good morning, Jerry. Glad to have you. Glad to have you, Jerry. What you been cooking lately? So, Stephen, what's the status of the brisket? I mean, have y'all already eaten it, or is it resting? What's going on with it? A friend in Tasmania that cooks possum up all the time. He says it's just like game meat and barbecues it accordingly. Well, Gavin, I'm telling you right now, the possums here in America, and people eat possums here in America now. I know in Tennessee that they've passed a roadkill law where if you see an animal like a possum get hit on the road and you think it's still fresh enough to eat, that you can take it home and eat it. And people do that, but I haven't gotten that desperate yet. Jerry says ribs yesterday, boiled shrimp last night. That sounds good. Nutria are raised for their fur. What do they do with their fur? Don't seem like they would be big enough to do a whole lot with their fur. Yeah, possums and coons all the time. Yeah. Tango. That's a good point. That's a good point. Always keep a thermopin. Hey, Tango Joe, that's the quote of the day. That's the quote of the day. Always keep a thermopin in your vehicle for roadkill. Excellent point. Excellent point. That was great. That made my morning right there. Oh man, 175-degree point and 180 point is cooking now, and yes, it's on life support. So how long has it been on for? What temp you cooking it at and all that stuff? Give us some details, man. If I was that hungry, I wouldn't need a law. Yeah, you're right, Dave. That's a good point. It's like an egg on a hot road. 180-degree flat. Gotcha. So you're not far, Stephen. You're not far. You've been up all night. Give us some details, man. What else? Oh, okay. I told you guys I was going to get back to a football story, but this football story has to do with barbecue in the end. Just bear with me just a minute. Cooking at 225, been on since 1:30, and I fell asleep. Gotcha. So 1:30. So you're only about 6 hours in. Still got a little ways to go. I like it. So to the football story. Bear with me a minute. But this is classic. I read this, and as soon as I read this, it reminded me of this story. But just one of those things that people say, and it makes you scratch your head. And the story has to do with searing a steak. So hopefully that'll keep you hanging in there for a minute. But back when I was coaching football, high school football, I was coaching at Perry High School. And my buddy Jeff, he was the offensive coordinator. Now, before that, Perry High School had been running a spread offense and that kind of stuff. Well, Jeff had always run the wishbone. So we were running the wishbone that year. And we were winning football games, which Perry had not done in a while. We actually beat Washington County that year, 28-27 at their place. And their place was called the House of Pain. And when you walked up, they had like a little graveyard. And if they beat you, they put your headstone in the graveyard and all that stuff. Well, we wound up beating them 28-27 with like a minute left in the game. So we were having a great year. But long story short, the fans, however, hated our offense. Hated it because it was boring and it wasn't exciting to watch. And one parent actually told us, I would rather watch us lose, 49-48 than watch us win 7-6. Because all of our games were low scoring games because we kept the ball so long because we were just running the football. We never passed the football. We just ran the football. We tried to get 3 1/3 yards every down. So it wasn't exciting. But we actually had a parent. We made the playoffs that year, the first year that we had hosted, Perry High School had hosted a playoff game in 50 years. But that parent actually said that he would rather watch us lose and his son play for us. He'd rather watch us lose 49-48 because it would be exciting rather than to watch us win 7-6. I thought that was crazy. Well, this morning, before I was kind of getting ready for the live stream, going through them Facebook things, one guy says he was trying to get a sear on a steak, but it just didn't work. Some of y'all might have seen this post. It might have been one of y'all. I hope not. But it didn't work. Tried to get a sear on a steak. It didn't work. And so, the thread's going on, they're asking him what he did and this and that. So finally somebody asked him, did the steak turn out bad? And he said, no, it was a great steak. It was juicy, had plenty of flavor, done perfectly. It was a great steak. I just wanted some sear marks, and it just made me think, I really believe some people would rather have a steak that has sear marks so that it looks good. Man, look at that thing. And they don't really care if you could make a shoe out of it, Who cares if it has sear marks? If it's a good steak, it's a good steak. I've had plenty of great steaks that didn't have sear marks, and I've had plenty of steaks with sear marks that you could put in a magazine that you could wear for a flip-flop. So that just caught me as being funny. Oh, it was a great steak. I just want some sear marks. Yeah, eye candy. That's it. Eye candy. It was a great steak. Had great flavor, juicy, tender. That's what he said, tender. Just disappointed. It didn't have sear marks. I don't know. Hey, I've had some great barbecue with no smoke ring. And I've had some bad barbecue with a smoke ring. If it turns out good, enjoy it. What I say. I thought that was funny. No sear marks. Something else. Oh. Somebody asked me about if you want real, oh, here we go, Gavin. If you want real football, watch Australian rules football. Gavin, years ago, there was I don't know what channel it was, but it used to come on TV, and I used to watch it. And I mean, they got after it. Now, I don't understand all the rules because you could kick that thing through that big old goal or goal post from a long way out, and it was a certain point and this and that. But that's pretty good stuff. But the other day, somebody asked me about a certain Facebook group and asked me if it was, basically the question was, is that group what it used to be? And my answer was no. But the reason is because of the number of people that's in that group now. But it's kind of inevitable. You know, if a certain group starts out and it's kind of small and they're all, you know, geared toward the same things, you know, they see things the same way. But then as more and more people come in, you start getting varying opinions, varying ideas on how to do things, varying what's acceptable and what's not to say or do, and all those things. It's inevitable that sooner or later it's going to change when it starts getting bigger. And so I think that's what's happened with a couple of groups. They started out really cool and had a common purpose, and everybody understood that purpose. But as they have gotten bigger and more people come into those groups, I mean, to be quite honest with you, you end up starting to get a lot of jerks. And you know, we had a saying in the Marine Corps, you know, there's always 10%. My gunny used to say that all the time. You know, we have a big inspection or something, uniform inspection, we show up and 90% of us would be squared away, looking sharp. All our stuff is just like it's supposed to. But there's always going to be that 10% that slackers. And it's the same thing with these groups. 90% of the people that are in these groups are good people and mean well and are trying to be helpful and all that stuff. But it's that 10% that starts screwing it up for everybody. And I think that's what's happening with some of these Facebook groups. They started out being really fun and enjoyable and helpful. And now it's got to be where today more folks are trolls and just, you know. And Rick, and that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to stay the same. Now my channel has changed since I first started, and part of it is the live stuff. But I think that has helped a lot. As far as it hasn't really helped my subscriber rate a lot. Sometimes I think it's probably slowed it down, but it's helped me get closer to the subscribers that I do have. And with the live shows, I've gotten a little more technological, and the website, you know. But I'm still going to keep it me. You know, I just wanted to do the website so I could offer my subscribers some Jus Piddlin stuff, you know, something with my logo on it. So, Tango, give it a try. You know, I was skeptical about doing it. Number one, because I didn't know how to do it, really. And, you know, number two, I didn't know if anybody would watch and that kind of stuff, but it has started to grow. Peter, good morning. Good to have you, man. Jerry, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you checked those other channels out. So, you know, I don't plan on changing my channel. And, you know, if any of the jerks, and I've had jerks show up on my channel, I just block them and weed them out because I don't want them on my channel. I'm not one of those guys that just wants numbers regardless of what kind of people they are. You know, I want good people on here. So I don't know about 3/4, Larry. I appreciate that, and good morning. But I have fallen off the wagon a little bit here lately, but I got to get back on it. But I appreciate that, Larry. I did have to go buy me some. I actually went from 38s to 34s in my jeans. And I had to get the old DeWalt out a while back and drill me another hole in my belt. Doing well, doing well. I'm a little sore. I helped build some tables yesterday, a coffee table and 2 side tables for Mac and Rhonda. Have you thought about taking calls like Skype? Wow, Gavin, that's interesting. I haven't thought about that. I know, I'll tell you this. Before I got into YouTube, I'm a Tennessee Volunteers fan. I love Tennessee football, but I enjoy their baseball and basketball too, although I'm not a huge basketball fan. And I like their softball too, but I'm a Tennessee fan. And that's where I was born, and I just like them. But there was a website called Vol Talk, and it was just talk about Tennessee Volunteer football and stuff, basically football, but had some baseball and basketball too. But I had gotten on there and gotten in good with the guys and everything, ended up being a moderator and all that. And so me and 2 other guys started doing a podcast every week. Might have been Thursdays. And we would talk about the upcoming game and all that. And so, but the way we would do it is, I would be on here, but I would be able to see the 2 other guys. We did it on Google Hangouts, I think. And I'd be able to see the 2 other guys on my screen. And we talked back and forth and stuff. It was pretty cool, It would be awesome. Man, if I could see all you guys, that'd be a trip. That'd be cool. But I don't know how to do that. I don't know. But, I didn't know what to expect from the live stuff. But I'm glad I tried it because it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it. Larry's at Central Florida. Mike says, Rugby, wish my fingers were smaller. Texas Style Barbecue, good morning. Good to have you down there from sunny Central Florida. My brother is actually down there in Orlando. He went down there yesterday for this whole week, I think. I think it's the Ace Hardware show down there in Orlando. And he is down there. Harley's down there in Orlando doing he's going to be demoing and cooking all week down there in Orlando. So Harley won't be here this morning or probably Wednesday. He'll be down there cooking. I know he'll be wore out by the time he gets back. But yeah, Tango, I'm glad I started the live stuff, and it'd be cool to give it a try. I know James over at Aim 'em and Claim 'em, he does the live shows, and he has a good live show. And some folks do the Facebook live stuff, and I've thought about doing that a couple of times, but have just never done it. Mike, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well, Mike. Gavin, my Wednesday night shows at 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. Vacation is over. Peter, what you been doing on vacation? And how do you like that new grill? Yes, sir. Gavin, I appreciate you, man. And Gavin, I probably after I do that wing video with that sauce that Jim sent, the Blues Hog, I'm going to do some type of chicken recipe with that herb salt that you sent me. I'm looking forward to using that. And I'm still looking forward to Greg's video of that Vegemite. Love the new grill. Been relaxing 7 weeks. Then I'm off for the summer. Peter, what do you do again? I've got about 7 weeks and I'm off for the summer. You a teacher? Mike slept in a bit. Filmed all day yesterday. Gonna edit today. No rest in my future. Give us a little hint, Mike. What'd you film yesterday? Yeah, Gavin, let me know. Let me know your t-shirt size. University of Connecticut. Yeah, I knew you were a chef. I just didn't know exactly where. University of Connecticut. So y'all will be out for the summer. That's awesome. So Peter, do you teach culinary arts? I don't have any editing to do today because thankfully we did not film the coffee table and 2 side tables that me and Mac built yesterday. Right across the sound from Tango. Texas Styles doing ribs today and the rebuilt UDS. 2XL. Gotcha. Just cook for the masses. We feed an average of 1,000 students a day in my dining hall. Awesome. When is the pool opening up? Probably about 2 weeks, Jerry. Probably about 2 weeks. Usually when it hits around April 1st, I usually go out there and take my first dip, which is usually really chilly. It's usually in the 70s, water temp wise. But the water's got a little green tint to it right now just because of all the pollen, and we've got this stuff falling from the trees right now that's kind of dirtying up the water. Tango, didn't you do a pizza oven probably a year ago or so? That's exactly right, Rick. And I'm going to tell you, a pool is about like a boat. Every time you turn around, you got to put some money into it somewhere. Gavin, are plane tickets included with that? John, good morning. I'm glad you made it. Can you change controller type in the middle of a cook? John, I would shut that thing down. I wouldn't recommend that. When is TGE Chicago, Georgia collaboration video coming? Mike, I don't know what that means. Did your fingers get in the way? You're talking about moving? Let's see, Mike. That's difficult to answer because right now I'm pretty tired of it, to be honest with you. We're talking about moving. in a couple years. And we want to go up to the mountains of Tennessee, back where I came from. Yeah, I did a little pizza oven, much larger one. The one that you made looked pretty cool. Gavin, it used to be a saltwater pool until the salt cell went out. That salt cell is about $500 to replace, so we just made it into a chlorine pool for now. But we would like to change it back to a salt pool again. Yeah, I like the salt pool better until it tears up. 1,700 bucks. Wow. Mike, to get back to your question, I mean, Georgia's. I like Georgia. Me personally, I like Middle Georgia better, around the Warner Robins area, because you can still get in the country, but you're still not too far from civilization every now and then. Where I live now, I'm about an hour from Savannah, 30 minutes from Statesboro, but that's the closest Walmart is a half hour away. I'm being honest. Sometimes I just feel like I get kind of like cabin fever, but it's like Georgia fever. I got to get out of here and go to some civilization and I'm trying to answer your question without being rude to a lot of people. I mean, my mama's from Georgia. My wife was born in Georgia. But there a lot of people around here are just behind the times. Let me say it that way. And people don't like change around here, which is in a way good, but in a way it's bad too. And so sometimes I got to get away and get to some civilization and that kind of stuff. So if I were going to move and stay in Georgia, I would either go. Coastal Georgia is beautiful, like Jim, where Brunswick is. Around the coastal islands of Georgia, it's beautiful. Up in North Georgia and the mountains of North Georgia, Helena and that area is beautiful. I like Middle Georgia, but Southeast Georgia, in between Middle Georgia and the coast, it's kind of like a desert area. I mean, it's just, not a big fan. And Jim, you're right. We have had a sporadic burst of hurricanes hit the Georgia coast lately. Just north of Nashville. Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from Gallatin. My daddy was from Gallatin, and my mom actually graduated from Hendersonville High School, and daddy went to Gallatin High School. I love that area. I'm like 25 miles. I was born 25 miles northeast of Nashville. Had the pleasure. I saw you up there in Nashville. You ate at a barbecue place up there. Gambling Stick. I need to write that down. Now, Joe, is that downtown or is that kind of on the outskirts? I'll check that out. And you were kind of eating outside in a tent area, wasn't you? Clarksville, yeah. Yeah, when you get up in Tennessee, it's a small world. If you're central or west or east, Middle Tennessee, Western Tennessee, or Eastern Tennessee, you know just about every town around your area on the outskirts. I have checked that out. I've always wanted to go to Colorado, yeah. But yeah, hopefully we get back to Tennessee. I just love that area. My aunt and uncle, several of my aunts live up there. My aunt and uncle live up there, and we're ready to get back. They just had some flooding up there a couple weeks ago. But I love that place up there. Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm fixing to get off of here. We've been going about an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to get me another cup of iron bean coffee. Go out there and check my wood pile, see what kind of scraps I've got. Maybe do a little wood project today, or heat up that pulled pork that I've got to heat up, and watch a NASCAR race today. Steven, let me know how that thing turns out, man. Jerry, cook videos. I'm going to do a wing video, and it's going to contain that red sauce from Blues Hog that Jim sent me. I think that's going to be an excellent sauce for some wings. So my next video is going to be a wing video. I don't know what I'm going to cook it on yet. Thinking about doing some charcoal, maybe pit barrel or the Weber kettle. I hadn't cooked on my Weber kettle in a long time. So I might do a Weber kettle video, wings. Let me know what you want me to cook it on, Jerry, and I'll cook it on it. Whatever you say, that's what I'll cook it on. But I'm going to do the wing video with the Blues Hog red sauce. And then I'm going to do a chicken. I'm thinking about doing a whole chicken or maybe a spatchcock chicken. And I want to use that herb salt that Gavin sent me from Australia. I think that would go really well on some chicken. A nice roasted chicken. So that'll be my next two videos probably. So, but yeah, I'll do some thinking on which grill I'm going to do the chicken wings on. And that'll probably be my next video. Probably be either this coming up week or it may end up being next weekend before I can get to that. And Jim, that's a good idea too, mixing that red sauce with that original or the other sauces too. But that original sauce is amazing. Amazing. And Jim, I appreciate that a ton, man. Good stuff. Rick, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure greeting the day with you guys this morning. And hope you guys have a good week this week. Mike, appreciate you stopping by. Tango Joe, always a pleasure. I like to see how they turn out on that pit barrel cooker. Well, that's what we'll do, Jerry. Pit barrel cooker it is. Gavin, keep it real down there in the land down under. Appreciate you. All right, guys, until next time, I'll be piddling. Have a good week.